So most people think that joining the Army is a young person's game, and you wouldn't be wrong. I mean, people usually join at 18, 19, early 20s, hell, maybe late 20s if you waited. Well, I raised my right hand at 37.
You what?
In this video, I want to walk you through exactly why I joined at 37 and maybe why you might want to join at 37 or in your 30s. Maybe why you might not want to at all. Let's run it.
So catch me if I fall.
By the time I walked into a recruiter's office, I was already established. I had my own career. I had a wife. I had kids, beautiful family. I wasn't straight out of high school. I had responsibilities. I had experience. That's completely different because joining at 37 is a completely different experience than joining at an early age. In your teens and early 20s, some of the answers that I get from other people that I've spoken to, other troops that I've spoken to, is, they either want to go to college or want to get college paid for, want to get out of their hometown, or simply just want an adventure. Everyone has their own reasons as to why to join, and I can't sit here and tell you what your reason is. Even at a young age though, you'll always ask yourself questions, like, am I doing this for myself, or is this for my family legacy, or am I doing this because of pressures from friends, family? Am I really willing to give up multiple years of my life to long hours, early mornings, and high expectations? So later in life, some of those questions change, and some of the questions that I had for myself was, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind for my kid? Am I willing to get uncomfortable again? How much time do I really have left to do something that I really always wanted to do? And that last one right there, that's one of the most important ones. That was really the kicker right there, because I'm the type of person that likes to have zero regrets. No regrets at all. I don't want to grow old and be in my old age and just look back and say, what if? I hate that. That's not me, dog. So why? Why did I trade my comfort, for rucksacks, for early mornings, for getting yelled at by somebody way younger than me? The thing is, I always wanted to do it. I always was drawn to the military since I was young. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, the propaganda got me. Like, I know that some of y'all might not remember this commercial, and yes, a commercial, not an ad, a commercial. It was a Marine Corps commercial. It was called Torch the Sounds of Chaos. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt like they were talking directly to me. Like, it spoke to my soul. And ever since that time, I always wanted to join. Well, fast forward 1,000 years, life happens. I went to college. I moved back to Florida. I met my wife. I had beautiful kids. I, created a great career. One day I was sitting in my office on my desk, and I woke up. And by that time, I was getting ready to make my next deal. That's when I decided to make a change. When I did, I asked myself, like, is this really what I want? Does this really fulfill my ambitions? Like, is this what I want to be remembered for by my kids?
Hell no. Fuck no.
I felt that I owed it to not just me, but my family as well, to be the best version of myself. The person that goes after what they really want in life, even if it means trading in my comfort for my personal purpose. In my opinion, a lot of people underestimate the power of having a clear vision and a clear mission. And it's easy to drift as an adult. I mean, hell, I did it. You go to work, you come home, pay the bills. If you have a family, you play with your kids, spend some time with the wife, go to sleep, wake up, repeat, right? It happens. Those type of things start building into a routine. You get into your routine and you get stuck in your ways. And I just happened to wake up. It doesn't have to be the military. A lot of people could just wake up and really follow what they want to do. For me, it just happened to be the military. I felt that the Army offered me some discipline that I lost throughout the way, and a chance to contribute to what really fuels me and what really drives me. When I started my journey, I wasn't just chasing a uniform, even though they're tough. I don't know. To me, I think them boys is tough. But I was doing my research. I was looking at training pipelines. I was looking at MOS options. I was looking at opportunities to move up. I needed to see what skills were going to be able to be transferred outside of the military. I've been on the outside, and I know how the outside is. I wanted something like that. If I would have joined when I was younger, I would have been 11 Bravo. I would have been something crazy out there in the front, doing what I can, But right now, I wanted to use more of my, my mind and get my skills up. Because at 37, every decision has to be thoughtful. It has to be very meaningful. But let's get real though. Joining at 37 is not the same as joining at 19. Let's talk about physically. When I first joined, it was right after pandemic. By that time, I had been working from home for a few years now. And I was, I don't know if any of y'all work from home or worked from home for a specific amount of time, but I happened to be one of those that was just eating everything in sight. I was going to the pantry, going to the fridge every second I got. So your boy got round. Prior to that, I had already been going to the gym for like 8 years, and I had been an athlete in high school and played some college ball. So I just focused and, I made weight, sort of. I mean, that's a whole nother topic for a separate video, but we can get to that one at some point. You got to remember that you're going to be surrounded by young guys, young people that can bounce back like it's nothing. And you got to remember that, they can just go out, go do something crazy the night before, wake up and, be 100%. And that's outside of the military. In the military, they can do all these sorts of physical stuff. And the next day, their body's completely fine, right? When you're at 37, you got to take that little extra time to take some stretches, do some little things like that. We can talk about those type of things, what I did in later videos, if we want to get deep into it. But, you're going to be surrounded by those type of individuals. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not your job to be the strongest out there. It's not your job to be the fastest out there. It is your job to be the most mentally strong, though, and be, thoughtful and really be precise in the things that you do and say, because you have experience. And this is where age comes into play. I failed. I've restarted. I've made mistakes. I've had a career. You had different things in your life that propel you or make you face adversities and be resilient. Army loves the word resilient, and you've had some of that already while you were outside of the military. And socially, you stand out. I mean, some people do the double take when they see you. You're gonna have to get used to that, especially drill sergeants. Even to this day, when I talk to a sergeant or a drill sergeant and they find out what my age is, they always hit me with the same exact response every time.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
You might be older than your leadership, and you have to come to terms with that. But you have to respect the rank. You have to respect the game, respect the rank. You might have more experience, but they have more knowledge in this game. And they definitely have more experience within the Army itself. So as long as you respect the rank, sergeants and people above you are not going to give you necessarily a hard time as long as you're squared away. If you're not squared away, then good luck. And also, one of the biggest differences between you and somebody younger is what you're leaving behind. I understand that younger individuals could have families and things like that, but when you're older, you're more likely to have those things. So you're leaving behind maybe a career, a good job, a family. You've built a certain level of comfort for yourself. And you're going to have to come to terms that you're going to have to leave that behind. You're going to have to change into a different individual than the one you have been. I know a lot of people have routines and things like that as you get older. I have my routines. Hell, even now I incorporate my routines that I'm outside of the, TRADOC, a training environment, but you're going to have to change those things. But it's always for the greater good. It is for what it is that you want to do. And if this is something that you want to do, I know that you're willing to push yourself to that, to be able to bend your routines or change your routines and adjust. If you're older and you're watching this video, let's talk about you though. Let's talk about a little bit about you. Again, I can't tell you your personal reason as to why you want to join. However, here are some reasons that actually might make sense. You want to reset. If you're tired of drifting through life, the Army gives you a clear framework, clear structure, clear schedule. And some people thrive in that environment. Some people succeed better in that environment. You're looking for a second career, not just a paycheck. At 30 something, you see the long game. It's not short games here. So you might be interested in some technical fields. You might want to pick up another skill, pick up another, be an expert in something else to just add to your repertoire, whether it be 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3 contracts, however many contracts it may be. You want to be able to add something else to yourself to build yourself as a better individual. So the Army provides that as well. And I can see that as being another reason why. At that point, the Army becomes a strategic move, not just another adventure. And the one that got me, I mean, you want to serve while you still can. There's a window there where you're old enough to understand the weight of service, and you're just old enough to still physically capable of doing. If you feel the pull to contribute, if you feel the pull to do something for yourself, or do something for something that's bigger than you, because I know some people, you know, that's what they want to do. They want to be a part of something that's bigger than them, then by all means. But of course, it's not for everyone. If you're looking for an easy paycheck or looking for a movie version of the Army, this ain't it, dog. It ain't it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't it. But if you're clear as to why you're joining at an older age, then that's a powerful decision. So should you join in your 30s? Yes. No, I'm just playing. I said I can't answer that question for you. Only you can come up with that answer on your own. What you can do is be brutally honest with yourself. You know, is this something that you want to do? You know, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Is this something that you want to put your body and your mind through? Will joining the military put me closer to my goal or further away? Will I regret not at least trying it? If you're seriously considering it, you know, talk to a recruiter, talk to troops, talk to soldiers, other people that have joined or are close to the military. Hell, you can drop in the comments and ask me questions, and you know, I'll do my best to answer those questions for you guys. Make it a deliberate attempt on gathering data and doing some research to see if this is something that you want to do. Remember that you only get one life, so you would not want to spend the later part of that life asking about what if. If you want more videos breaking down the process, age limits, waivers, what the Army's like on a day-to-day basis, what training is like, hit the subscribe button, drop a question in the comments. I'm gonna start doing a series. I want to start doing a series on my entire process and joining in the military. I think that's what I'm gonna do next. I want to be able to start from, you know, talking to the recruiter, getting ready for basic training, MEPS, reception, all phases of basic training. And maybe at the end we could watch my basic training tape. That's one of the things that I did buy, is the recording of basic training. And I can talk to you guys, you know, more deeply in regards to that when that time comes. And also how my AIT was as being a 25 uniform in the United States Army. So if you want to follow me in this journey, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Peace. Moral of the story. Did you know cows have best friends?